Question number 71. What does the trustee do? The trustee's job is to get as many assets as possible to sell so that funds can be given to your creditors. And the trustee gets paid based upon the amount of those funds. The more the trustee gets from you, the more the creditors get, and the more that the trustee gets paid. Question number 72. What does the trustee do? What is the trustee looking for? The trustee wants to know what assets you have, what assets are exempt, which you would get to keep, and what kind of transactions have taken place recently in the last year or two. In some cases, the trustee may be able to reach back and undo some of those transactions if payments have been made to some creditors which are detrimental to other creditors. A Chapter 7 trustee looks for unreported assets and also assets that have been transferred within a year before the bankruptcy filing. Question number 73. What if I have transferred some of my assets before the bankruptcy? The trustee can look at transfers actually of up to 10 years if the asset was transferred to a relative. The trustee will also look at any payments made to creditors in the 90 days before filing to see if there was any preferential treatment, in which case the trustee can get payments back to add to the bankruptcy estate for distribution to all of the creditors. Question 74. How does the trustee get paid for this work? Well, at this time, the trustee gets a flat fee of $60 for each Chapter 7 case that they administer. They, in addition, get payments based on how much money that they collect for the creditors. Out of the first $5,000 that a trustee collects for the benefit of the creditors, the trustee would get 25% of that, or $1,250. If they get up to an additional $45,000 of assets to distribute, the trustee would get 10% of that amount. And if they get more than $50,000 but less than $1 million, they would get 5% of that amount. And anything over $1 million, they would get 3% of the amount collected. Question number 75. I don't have any assets beyond my exempt assets. What happens? Well, excuse me. The majority of cases are referred to as no asset cases, which means that there will be no assets available for distribution to creditors at the end of the Chapter 7 case. Question 76. Is there a difference between the trustee and the U.S. trustee? Yes. The U.S. trustee is different from the trustee that we're talking about. The U.S. trustee is part of the United States Department of Justice. The U.S. trustee works with the FBI and other agencies to prevent bankruptcy fraud and abuse. They have a team of auditors and lawyers, and they oversee the process, including overseeing your trustee. They do random audits, and they look at cases to make sure that no fraud is involved. They also review Chapter 7 cases to see if there's abuse, to see if a case really should be filed as a Chapter 13. Question number 77. After I file, but before I get my discharge, can I sell any of my assets? When you file, your property comes under the control of the trustee. It's all property of the bankruptcy estate. You may not sell or otherwise transfer any of your property after you file your petition in bankruptcy without the approval and consent of the trustee. Question number 78. Can I acquire any property after I file but before my discharge? Well, in most cases in a Chapter 7, any property that is acquired after you file your petition will not be under the control of the trustee and will not be part of the bankruptcy estate. It's really just the property that you own prior to the time that you file your petition. There is a difference in Chapters 13 and 11 where the ongoing assets that are accumulated are part of the bankruptcy estate, but not in a Chapter 7. Question number 79. Can I borrow money after I file, but before I get my discharge? Yes, you are allowed to borrow money after you file if you can get someone to lend you money after you file. Any debts that you incur after you file will not be discharged, even if your bankruptcy case is still open. Question number 80. I recently got divorced. Can I discharge my alimony payments? No, you cannot discharge any alimony, child support, or any other debt that amounts to support or maintenance for your children or your ex-spouse.